Hello, everyone. This is Zach Spryzak here, Athletic Director of Troy Athens High School. I'm here to go over our budget on the plan for this year. Since I am a first year athletic director, I do believe in incremental budgeting, but because I don't have a budget on file, I'm going to start with zero based budgeting. And I will start off by showing you the spreadsheet that I have made. So here is our final budget. You should be able to see it here. So basically, how I found the numbers. I'm gonna move that for you guys. Is we have all of our sports here. You can see we have boys lacrosse, football, girls volleyball, baseball, girls basketball, boys basketball, softball, boys soccer, girls lacrosse, boys track, girls track. And I have an athletic activity fund, which is basically used to pay workers to work all of our games. So that goes into every sport. Some maybe a little more than others, but we'll work out those kinks after year one. And then we also have cheerleading, dance, boys field hockey, girls tennis, boys wrestling, and girls wrestling. Um, how I started doing this is I want to make sure we have this all fair. All student athletes should be treated the same and have about the same amount of money into their programs. Now, saying that at the same time, there are still athletic programs that have more athletes in them and cost more to run. So how it started, as you can see here, under quota number, that's basically how many athletes you have for that sport or activity. Um, Now you can see you got boys across at 20, and then football jumps up to 60 because that's just the number of students that we usually have to play those sports. Now at Troy Athens, we don't have a big football showing. I mean, you'll see football teams up to 100 kids sometimes at some high schools, but because I'm using those numbers, numbers from the past, that's what I based it on. And so I got that number, I added them all up, and it got us to 365 total athletes. Now, with our total budget being 100,000, you just do 100,000 divided by 365, and we get this long decimal. Basically, I rounded up to 260. So every student athlete will get every student athlete will basically get $260 to spend on. Now, what does that mean? Well, they're not going to get this money directly, but their programs will get it, and we trust those coaches to make the right decisions. And I'm going to go over that on what they got, what they wanted to receive to help their program succeed. But you can see, so boys lacrosse had 20 times the 200. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't use 260, 250 because I didn't want to go over budget, obviously. So you go 20 times 250, $5,000 for boys lacrosse. Okay, and now I'm not going to go over every sport here because you all have this in front of you. But if you scroll down to boys lacrosse and what they wanted goals that were about $360, sticks, a True Cadet 30-inch for 128 for $2,200, and then balls, which is $128. Excuse the typo. I'm going to change that. And you have helmets, the Cascade, CPVR. I've done all my research on all of this stuff as well, and it is very high. It is high quality gear that'll keep our athletes safe. Shirts, East Bay generic, $264, and then lacrosse STX Stallion and gloves for $946. You can see they round out to about just over $4,600. And if you remember, boys lacrosse gets $5,000. So I'm gonna scroll back down, and you can see all the money that did not end up using, or maybe they had a few things they wanted more on the wish list that couldn't be bought for. Maybe they wanted a new field, for example. I mean, that would cost a lot of money that we wouldn't be able to pay for up front, and that's just going to go into their fundraising. So they're going to have about just over $300 to go into their fundraising budget that they will be able to save for as long as they want. They could possibly get t-shirts at the end of the year. Let's say they won the conference, they want to get a conference championship t-shirt. They can use that money any way they want after, of course, going through me to make sure that I'm still getting those receipts and making sure that we are still using it on our athletics teams. You can see we have the list of everybody. We have a list of everything that everyone wanted on their wish list, with the athletic activity fund, of course, um, coming into play for whenever we need to pay for workers, maybe have a conference event, something like that. If we need some emergency gear, stuff like that because you never know what could happen throughout the season, and we want to be able to help our teams out any way we can. Um, but yeah, that's basically our budget. I want you all to look through that. Let me know what you think. After this year that just happened with the zero base budgeting, I'm going to switch to incremental. So we're going to go off the same budget, but the quota numbers could change depending on year to year. If let's say baseball starts consistently having 25 student athletes, and I'm going to make sure we change that to 25. That they get a little more money, and that's really about it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But that is the budget with everything that is going to be on there. Thank you very much.